welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys for hanging with me on this Thursday. Now, December is the time of year where your water temps are going to drop off. If you're in the Midwest, lower Midwest, Southeast, water is going to get down into the 40s. If you're down in Florida, it's going to dip below 60, which means timing is going to become a really big part of your day and how quickly you're fishing. So if you're turning your reel handle too fast, that could be the whole difference between catching a bunch of fish and not catching any at all. Because when that water gets cold, fish don't have to move around, they don't have to be active, and a lot of times you have to get them to react. So common sense would tell you, pick up a jig, fish slow. The downside of that is if you're not around a whole lot of fish, you're gonna have a really tough day doing that. So I'm gonna go into a couple different baits, the type of structure I like, and just how to fish in cold weather, because I feel like it's not always easy. Mentally, it's exhausting, and if you're not doing the right thing and have confidence doing it, you're gonna struggle in these colder months. So thanks guys for watching these videos. If you've hit that subscribe button, I really appreciate you for doing that. That helps the channel out a lot. Liking the videos, leaving me comments. I love interacting with you guys, so thank you guys for doing that. And let's talk about cold weather December fishing, because this is something I've had a lot of time to reflect on, sitting out there not catching anything. But the biggest thing that I can talk about this time of year is have a jerkbait, look for steep banks, have a lipless, look for flat banks, and then have a jig looking for places where bluff walls, channel swings, high percentage type places, but you should be able to put something together with those three baits. So I'm gonna start off with the jerkbait. The jerkbait is really important when you have bass that are chasing shad. This time of year, as much as you wanna think, they're slow moving, they're on the bottom, they still are in a fall type, feed up for winter mood. So for that reason, they're going to be chasing. So anytime you get on a steeper bank than a 45-degree angle, a jerkbait is a really good player. Now, the catch on that is you have to be in clear water. So down your lakes, the clearest water you can find, 3 feet of visibility and more. And that has a lot to do with the same conditions that you're gonna catch them on a jig. So where you're at jerking, you're also going to be dragging a jig. Now, smaller jigs, living rubber, round rubber, that type of jig is a really big player this time of year, but that's a clear water technique as well. So what you're going to find is you're going to get down there, there's going to be channel swing banks, there's going to be bluff walls. You can drag a jig on a lot of that stuff, but if you're not around the bass, then you're really going to struggle. So that's why I think a jerkbait is super critical this time of year. Steeper banks, bluff walls to 45-degree angle banks, and be jerking, because you need to know if the bass are chasing shad. Knowing what's going on in the bass's head, very important this time of year. Now, as we get a little further up the lake, as the lake starts to flatten out, a lipless crankbait is your best friend in the month of December. Even down on the lower end, the backs of creeks and stuff like that, this is one of those techniques that just crushes, especially if you have grass in your lake. But even lakes that don't have grass, and you're a little bit off colored water, a lipless crankbait is just a killer bait this time of year. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for flats that typically aren't going to reload, but they may have a ton of bait on them. And then down the lake, that jerkbait bite, that jig bite. But if you just think I'm going to pick up one of these and roll with it, you're really going to struggle this time of year. You got to be versatile. You have to think that, this is what the fish are doing, and it changes hour by hour this time of year. So I think it's very important. Make sure you keep all three of those honest. Then you can start busting out your swim jigs, your small swim baits, other baits that are going to work in those same situations, your Alabama rig, stuff like that. But to keep it as simple, but keep all your ducks in a row, those three baits are awesome this time of year. So try that, guys. Good luck to you, and I'll see you on the water.